Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for attending this session. Welcome to the first session of Android Study Jams. We have successfully completed the series, Compose Camp series, where we have learned how to build apps using Jetpack Compose and how to develop intuitive UI. So now we are back with another series, Android Study Jams, where we'll be learning how to build apps using Kotlin, and we'll be digging deeper into Kotlin now. So basically, what is Android Study Jams? Here, this basically facilitates community learning, where we group together and we learn how to build apps through various technologies. And now we move on to what is Kotlin in a. Kotlin is a static. Kotlin is a statistically testament. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Kotlin is a statistically typed language where it is usually defined in packages. And for any programming language, the entry point is the main function. So even in Kotlin, we have the entry point as the main function, and and here we use println to print a statement or to print the output, and it can be imported explicitly. And here there is another uh, I can say it is the plus point. There is no need to use semicolon because it is optional. You may or may not use. And when you declare the variables also, you can just dynamically declare them. Okay. So first we'll move on with the functions. Can everyone of the Kotlin playground in the chat? Can first open Kotlin playground. Uh, did you open Kotlin? Okay, yeah. First, we'll be beginning with functions. Um, okay, Isha, yeah, you can. Yeah, okay then. Okay, when you open your playground, you would implicitly see that this program is already written for a main function and where you will be printing hello world. And when you just run this, it prints hello world. Now we'll be adding some more functions. Okay. Now we'll just start here when you declare a function or when you define or declare a function in Kotlin, you use the keyword fun. So fun and the function name. The function name can start with a smaller letter. I mean, the first word of the function name can start with a lowercase letter, and the following words, first letter can be an uppercase letter or a lowercase letter. Okay, now so here we'll just have create a function called print message. We want to print a message like hello and some prefix. So I'll create a function called print message, and in that I'll create a variable called message. Okay, I want usually the message data type is string. So message colon string, and then since if the output is if it is unable to return any output, by default the functions will be returning unit type. Okay, so that's why unit, and then basis. Able to follow? Could you do? Is everyone doing? Okay. So now we have this print message function. Now we want to print it. So print ln message. Now we have created a function. So we'll be this function in the main function. So print ln, sorry, not print, print, yeah, print message of. Uh, Now for this variable, you will be passing a value here in the main function. Print message, some hello. Okay. Now after this function, I want to create another function with prefix. So how do you create it? The function keyword fun and print. I want to print a message with prefix. So my function name can also be print me with prefix of. Again, I can just pass the parameters, the message, and we can also use the same variables in the functions to avoid the repetition of code. So we can just use the same variables here. So message string, it's of string data type, and there's another variable called prefix, and it is also of string data type. And here, instead of passing uh, the value of this variable called string, I want to define here itself info, some info. Okay, so my prefix should be info. And now I'll print this, print ln, and uh, and whenever like while printing the whatever variables or information give, uh, you use dollar symbol in Kotlin. In order to refer to the variable you are printing, you use the dollar symbol. So dollar prefix. So I want when you write this, it means that in the square braces, I want the prefix variable to be printed. So dollar prefix. And I also want the message to be printed. The variable called the value in the variable called message. So dollar message. Now immediately I'll add it into my main function. So print message with prefix of what shall I print? I mean, if I like here I've passed like what we want to print. Instead, I want to change the prefix now. So prefix equals to, I want to print something. Can someone suggest what shall I print? Okay, yeah, alien. Sure. Alien, and then uh, message equals to hello. Instead of this, we can also print in another way, like print message with prefix. Um, you can just give your value of the variable in double quotes, like alien hello. Okay. So these are our functions. Now we'll try to run this. So what did we get? For the first statement, we got hello world, and then in print message function, we've got hello, and in the print message prefix, we've got alien hello. And if you observe this, here we have given the prefix equals to alien and then message equals to hello. Explicitly, we have asked the prefix, the value to be printed first. So we've got alien hello. And here we didn't mention any order. We've just passed the values. So when we have passed the values like that, it has just taken in the regular order, like the way we have taken in this way. Message value and then the prefix value. That is hello and alien. So that got printed. This hello got printed first and then the alien. Okay. Unit is the default type written by a function in Kotlin. Unit type. The data type the default data type written by a function is unit type. That's why we use unit. Of course, it is not necessary. We need not specify that it's unit. We can just normally like take. It's not necessary. In fact, did that answer your question? Okay. Could everyone do till here, or was I too fast? Can someone respond yes or no? Could you do till here? Shall I move on further? Okay, thank you. Now let's clear this. And so till here we've completed how to create a function and how to call it in the main function. Next, we'll move on to infix functions. I think everyone is clear with why it returns unit. Like when a function I mean, the default type of a function is unit. Okay. So we'll move on to infix functions. The member functions and the extensions, like when the functions have a single parameter, then they can be turned into infix functions. Now we'll write some infix functions. First, create a function called main, and in that, for infix functions, we need to use the keyword infix fun, and we want the functions type to be int dot the times, and we'll give a variable called str of string, and here the times is usually in the like data type integer. So we have given the int dot times, and we are passing to the int an infix function int dot times string value, um, which is equal to str dot repeat. And instead of in Kotlin, we have instead of for loop, we have repeat function. If we use repeat function, it does the same work as the for loop. Like you can iterate. So str dot repeat of this. Okay, now we want to print it. So print ln two times. Like here, we have mentioned the times. So how many times? Like I want it to be twice, or okay, let's say thrice then, three times. And we've taken a variable, right? So we'll be passing the value of that. What is the value? Okay, let's say by. Now, we'll take another value. And here, when you create variables in Kotlin, they are of two types. Variable of variable type and val type. Variable is used, I mean, variable or var keyword is used when you want to change the value of that variable you've created in future. Like if you feel that the name can be changed. Yeah, times is a predefined function. Like how many times? Yeah. Okay. Now we'll create a variable called val. Yeah, where the rest of variable is used, or var is used when the value of the variable can be changed in future, and val is used when the value of the variable remains constant, like you cannot change it. So here I want a variable, so its value I don't want to change it, so I'll declare it val, and a variable called pair. Um, let's say some pair. I'll print it value to be Ferrari, and so let's say it's Mercedes. Okay, Ferrari to Mercedes. So these are my pairs, like the values I've given to a variable called pair, and then I'll print it, and I'll take another infix function called infix fun, and previously I've taken integer. Right now I want to take string type dot onto of some other, like it could be any data type, like other. Okay, and when you use So yeah, any other data type, sorry, the other variable of data type string, and when you use the function called pay, it calls the infix function to from the standard library. Here, the two. So when you use this pay function, it calls the infix function to. So like it returns from that till this like two, and then so pair of function in that will be giving this other and okay value, a variable val in that the variable name is my pair. Um, let's say we'll give McLaurin here onto Lucas. Print this. Okay. Uh, now we'll create. No, we'll just try to run this. Okay. So if you see this, we have told we want this string called y three times. So it has printed this. And when we have given like Ferrari to Mercedes, it has written a pair, like an ordered pair, like Ferrari, Mercedes, and McLaren, Lucas. So these two are like which return pairs, like pair functions. Okay, what do you do? Uh, val can have two values, and I mean pair can have two values. Yeah, variable, yeah, it can have two values because we have taken to and onto. Basically, that means we can return a pair function for a given variable. This pair function, it calls this to and onto, so that we don't get an issue like we can have two values. The val. What's the difference between to and onto since they are returning same kind of output? Um, actually, you know, it actually they work for the same thing, and I'll just check it out and tell you. Yeah, could everyone do this? So let's start. We have variables now. We move on to variables. So Kotlin has a very powerful type inference. So when you now explicitly declare a type of a variable, you'll you will usually let the compiler do the work by inferring it. Like I mean, it doesn't enforce immutability. Like immutable is the where you can change the values of the variables. You need not take the pain that that the value of the variable cannot be changed or can be changed. You can just take the keyword var when you want the value of the variables to be changed, or just val when the variable's value doesn't change. So that's why in essence we use val over var, and we'll create a variable now. We'll just clear this, and in main function we'll create a var a. I want it to be of string data type. Say, let it be some initial, and we'll print this, print ln a, and then a val b. Um, so of integer data type, and its value can be some 6. And we'll take another val called c equals to 5, and then print ln the string. Oh, sorry, not string. A, print ln the b and c. Okay, now we've printed this string, and now I want to change the value of this c to 3. So let's see what happens. So here the val is the immutable variable. So wait, or if not, just take 4. Yeah. So this statement, it declares a mutable variable and initializes it. Like the value of the variable, it can be changed, and these and the second statement, the val b, it declares an immutable variable and initializes it. And the third statement here, it doesn't specify the type, but the compiler infers the type as int. That is, dynamically takes um, the data type of the int. Okay. So could you do the variables part? Okay. And now we'll move on to uh, something called null safety. In Kotlin, we have null variables, like nullable variables. Um, so in order to get rid of null pointer exception in like the second years you're currently learning Java, and third years, you already encountered the null pointer exception, which is really irritating, like when you get this. So in order to get rid of it, variable types in Kotlin don't allow the assignment of null. So if you need a variable which should be null, we'll directly declare it nullable by adding a question mark at the end of its type. So that you don't get this problem of null pointer exception. So now we'll be creating this null variables. Uh, the difference, uh, the difference between var is that it gives the mutable type. It is var is of mutable type and val is of immutable type. So here we'll be taking a var. Um, its name, let's say, it should be never null, and it is of okay. So we have the variable called never null and of type string, and we'll just say that this, and we're giving its value this can't be null. Okay. Uh, Now we are assigning this never null as null, and then we'll create a variable where nullable, a variable called nullable, and it is of type string. We want this variable to be null variable. So we'll add a question mark after its data type. Now equals to its value. What do you want to print? Like you can keep a null here, and then this nullable value equals to null. Okay. Now here, if you observe, this cannot be a null. This is not a null variable, but this variable is a null variable. But here we are explicitly assigning a null to the string variable for both. So let's see what will happen. Now we'll create another variable called, we have inferred the null. So inferred non-null variable, that is, it should print that the compiler assumes that this is non-null. Okay. Now we are also assigning this inferred non-null variable as null. And if you observe, we haven't specified any data type for this variable, or nor have we neither specified it as, we neither specified the data type nor the null type. So we've just declared it. That's it. And uh, another function, we'll create another function. Or wait, let's just see what will be there. Okay, we'll just print this. Instead of creating another function, we'll print the variable called never null and ln nullable and print ln infer non-null. Okay, let's see what does it give. Look, it has given an error because null cannot be a value of a non-null type string. Could you do? Could you do this? Can you people do this? Okay. So why you can see the error null cannot be a value of a non-null string, and all this. Now let's just check. We'll just comment this, but still it's giving the same error. Let's just comment this too. See. So what's the mistake? Can someone tell me what's the mistake we've done? Okay, okay, yeah. Eva, you can. Okay, wait. I'll go to the previous one. Let's uncomment this. Okay, just type this first. Just type this first, and then I'll continue the next. Okay, in the meantime, for how many people this is the first session of Android? You can just raise your hand in the chat or do something like that. How many people it is the first session of Android you're attending? This is the first session of Android. You haven't attended anything before. Okay, nice. Nandini, okay, welcome. Welcome to the Team Android. Anyone else? Just one? I can see 20. Okay, Yamini. Yeah. So out of 22, only two are new to the sessions. That's it. All the 20 are familiar. Of course, out of 20 minus 4, 16. Out of 16, so everyone have like they have attended the previous sessions then. Okay, Prasanna. Yeah, welcome. Yamini, Shivanandini, and Prasanna, welcome to the Android team. Okay, not an issue, Shiva. At least you've attended the previous sessions. I just when you're completely new to this. Okay, then we'll proceed. So just run this. When you run this, you encounter all these errors. So why do you encounter? It says that null cannot be a value of a non-null string. See, we have explicitly assigned the null to a non-null variable. So when we comment these and run, you get the output. This can be null and the null variable, and the compiler assumes null. So I think you've understood like why did it rise error in the previous one, and now it is fine because we cannot assign the null to a non-nullable variable. Okay, so let's move on to the next concept, which is classes. And in classes, we usually declare. I think everyone's done with this. Completed this nullable concept. Okay, good. Good to see people responding after a long time. Thank you so much. Now we'll move on to classes. Classes, when you declare a class, you give the class name, the class header, that is which consists of the type parameters, the constructors and all, and the class body, which is enclosed within curly braces. That is, you use the class keyword and the class name. Let's say if we have a customer, and in that we'll be specifying the constructors. So in that, now I want another class called, I've created a class called customer, and but I want another class called contact. And but I did not, if you observe, I haven't given any properties or any constructors to this first class. This is called a non-parameterized. Okay, this is a non-parameterized and default constructor. Okay, and I mean, sorry, a non-parameterized default constructor will be created for this. Like you don't need to specify. Okay, for this class, but we'll create another class called contact and create a variable of val type ID, and it should be int, and another variable called email or something, and of string type, and our main function. Okay, val customer, and we are we have taken a variable called val type, and we've taken and we called it customer, and we are passing it this constructor is passed for this variable called customer, and another variable of val type contact, and for that you'll be taking this constructor contact, and constructors have the same name as the class name. So that's why the constructor is also the customer, and for the class called customer, and the constructor for the class called contact is the contact itself. Okay, so the contact, let it be someone. The parameters of the contact constructor is one, and let's say the email is developer at gmail.com, and then you print this. Um, in that we can also you know access the parameters passed by using their IDs or the variable names. So we can just print like this also, like from contact dot I want ID to be printed. So contact dot ID. And we can also print like this, like contact dot email. But now I want to change the email. Like I don't want it to be developer at gmail.com. So I'll change it to uh, dave at gmail.com. Okay, let's see what does this print. So one, and we'll print this updated one. Okay, then we'll directly, we'll just print like this. We'll check what will be printed. Okay, so uh, initially we've given the contact value as developer at gmail.com, but we've updated to dev.gmail.com. For it is the previous one. If I uncommon, it gives the dev at gmail.com. I mean the updated value. Okay, could you people do till here? Yeah, of course. The class name should always start with an uppercase letter. Thanks for adding on, Suprata. I missed that point. It should always start with a capital and uppercase letter, the class names. Okay, could you people do till here? Val, we did not change the val. Val here is ID. We have changed the var. Var is mutable. That is, it can be changed. I've updated the value of the var email. Yeah. Okay. So then I'm moving on to the next concept. Okay, shall I move on to the next one? Okay. Now we have generic classes. We have and these generic classes are a genericity mechanism that becomes standard in some modern languages. Like uh, these generic classes and functions, they help in the code reusability. Like you don't need to write a, you can just use them. And you can encapsulate the common logic, and that is independent of a particular type. Like when you give some logic inside a list, it like in list, if you pass a variable, let's say, wait. So when you have some list called T, and in this, so when you have some logic inside some list, and you can and it is independent of what like what T it is. So that is the main use of the generic classes or the functions. So first we'll look into this generic classes. Um, so how do we create the generic classes? First, we define a generic class called class, some mutable stack. So we give the variable or whatever we want to pass to a generic class in the Angular braces in, let's say, and it needs to be in caps. Yeah, I forgot to tell you. It needs to be in caps and then some E of uh, variable arguments. Okay, items. In that we will be creating a variable called items, and for that we'll be passing E. Now we have we have done is we've created a gen mutable stack E, where it is this E is the generic type parameter. Now it is assigned to a specific type, like int by declaring. You can also like take some specific type like int also. But here I just took E, something called E. So inside the generic class, we can use E as a parameter like any other data type. Usually we can take like int, but I've taken it as int. Sorry, E, and you can also use this E as a written type. Okay, are you able to follow? Are you there? Okay, sure. Basically, generic classes and functions are useful in code reusability. Like you can use the same logic. Like for example, we have taken a generic class called mutable stack here. In that, we have passed a parameter called a generic type. Here, E is called generic type parameter. Usually, when we pass some parameters, we can give them like int type, or the data type is specified, specific type like int or something. But here in generic class, we have used E as a parameter like any other data type, and it can also be used as written type. That is what we've done till now. Is it fine? Okay. Now in that we'll be creating of type and the return type called private. Here, these access modifiers are like they help you in when you write a piece of code. Like when you create a variables in your class, they are used only within your class. Like you have various access modifiers like private, public, and protected. So here it is private. Private access modifier is used when you want the variables only within the class, that class. Okay, simply like the local variables. Here, but here it applies for the this class and the constructors. So private val elements equals to um, items, the variable we have given, items and the parameters. Items dot we'll create a function called this is a predefined function to mutable list function, and we'll create another function called push, and then we'll pass the parameter element e. Okay, and we want it to be elements dot, we'll be adding this element. Okay, another function called peak, let's say, and we'll take this return type as e. Okay, access modifiers are the name itself is suggests like till I mean outside the class, like what is the boundary of your access? That is private. We have three types of access modifiers basically. Mostly we use private, protected, and public. So in private, it is the variables or the constructors or the methods, they are accessible only within the class defined. Okay. And you cannot use outside of another like other classes. It is limited to your class. That is what I've told about access modifiers. And public, it simply the private access modifier is like local, like local variables and all what it does like that. It is limited to its class. Like you cannot access it outside the class. Whereas in the case of public, you can access it throughout your code, the variables or the constructors. Yes, like global and local variables. But here the access modifier applies even to the constructor methods and variables, not just confined to the variables. You can apply it to the methods and constructors also. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So another function we'll be creating called a peak, and we want the return type E equals to elements dot last sorry, last function. Here the function called in the function called push, we have created a variable, a new another variable called element, and for that, like we are passing for the elements, we've created this element. For the element, we are creating when we are adding another this variable called element. So okay, and then we'll move on to the next function peak e, and elements dot last. That is, we want to add it in the last. And pop e equals to element dot remove at function. We want to remove elements dot size minus 1. So simply the last one, the first one from the last. So another function is empty equals to the elements we want to empty it. So we just checking is empty. And then another function called size, we want to return the size, that is the elements dot size. Um, so next, okay, let's not go to overriding and all. Now wait, we'll just create this function. Oh wait, the function of the return type e, and the mutable stack, another function we're creating, mutable stack of variable arguments of elements e, and mutable stack of elements, and then we'll create a function name while stack will be passing it the function, and will be calling the function, but like we'll be calling the constructor here by assigning it to a variable called stack. Let's say we have some integers, 0.62 or 3.14, the pi value, and then 2.7 or something, and we'll print this stack. Okay. Okay. Wait. So we've basically got this, but if we add, wait, then let's just, in order to avoid this, we'll just override this function. Um, hmm, Overriding is when the subclass has the same method as the parent class. That is, the subclass of this class has the same name. The same method. So override the function to string, uh, wait, the mutable stack of. So when you want to access the elements, we have learned earlier that we use dollar. So dollar ele elements dot join the toString function. Okay, let's check the output now. So we have printed this, the mutable. This is the list, the mutable stack. For suppose, if we just comment this everything, what do we get? Oh wait, I've forgotten the main method. Hmm. So here's a just small task. Like we have got this 0.62 and all values right. Now I don't want that. I want even we have declared the previous functions right. This peak, push, pop is peak, push, pop, and all. So I want to like print even those, like what did we push or what did we pop also. Like, can someone do this for me? It's a small task. Can someone try to do this? Like, how would that happen? Just your task is here we have mentioned in this functions, we have pushed, popped, and we have done these operations. So I want which element is popped, I mean not peak, popped or pushed. So just that. Or okay, not pushed. Okay, let's just decrease it. I want you to pop an element and print it. Okay. So just one task, not too many, not to scare you. Just one task. We have declared this function pop, right? So I want you to implement and print this uh like whichever element is popped. I want you to print it. Can someone do it for me? Just one task. I think you got my point. You need to print the value from the given list. Here we have taken some values, right? I mean, previously we have printed here. So here we have printed these values, right? So I want you to pop one value and just show it. That's it. Okay, is anyone willing to do? Okay, there are so many things. Not an issue, you can just try to do it. No, is no one interested? Just give it a try. Okay, I can just see pin drop silence here. No, no one is interested then. Okay, then I won't push you further. Okay, so then this will be your task for the next session then. Okay, since no one is willing to come forward, this will be the task for the next session. Just try it out and you can just someone tell me if you could do it. Like I just want, like we have printed a list, right? So in that, I just want you to pop one value and just print it. That's it. Okay. Can you just promise me that if someone would try and tell me, can someone just at least respond for that? Okay, sure. Thank you, Nandini. Now we'll move on to inheritance. This is a very important concept in object-oriented programming. Uh, and inheritance is a concept where when we have defined classes, right, and we have passed the parameters, constructors, and the methods, and its variables also. So when you use inheritance, you can use the variables, or you can include the variables in child classes. Like when you create a child class, when you just say when in Java, usually we have inheritance, and in Kotlin also we have inheritance. So when you inherit a class, or when a child class inherits a parent class, the variables or the methods and constructors declared in that parent class can be used even in the child class, or they are included, you can just say, in the child class. So we'll just see how we can implement inheritance in Kotlin. So here, when you want the inheritance to be done, you mark the class with the keyword open, the modifier open. So open class, um, let's say some dog. Okay. So in that, um, I want to, and one more thing is that Kotlin classes are final by default. What are final classes? Final classes are, they are immutable. They cannot be changed. The values or whatever the parameters you pass, they cannot be changed. Okay, so they are final by default. Kotlin classes are final by default. So if you want to allow the class inheritance, then you will mark the class with the open modifier. And now we will, under class dog, we'll be creating a method. And one more point is that Kotlin methods are also final by default. And with the open modifier, as the class is the open modifier, it allows overriding it. So we've created an open class dog and the method open fun, say hello. Okay, just say hello. So I want my dog to say hello. Okay, and um, so how would a dog say hello? So let's say bow bow is the hello sent told by the dog, and then another class. Um, let's say Yorkshire, and then in that, now when we here we want this class Yorkshire is the class which inherits this class called dog. Yeah, this class called dog. So, in order to inherit, we don't use any words called extends and all. So we just give a simple colon. That's it. I think by like seeing these concepts, you would have understood why Kotlin is far better. Like the best thing about, I can just say the best thing about Kotlin is that when you write 1,000 lines of code in Java, it will be reduced to 100 lines of code. Yes, you heard it right. It will be reduced to the 100 lines of code, some 100 lines of code, because it reduces the burden. Like you can almost eliminate most of the, like I can say, the drawbacks in the Java. So this is the best part of Kotlin. You don't need to type much. Okay, it understands, it understands the pain of a programmer, typing hundreds and hundreds of lines of code. Okay, now so when you just give a colon here, it means that it is inheriting the class. So which class do you want to inherit? A class called dog. So you just specify that, and then in that, so we will override. When you override, and one more thing, we said it is a class, right? But we have given this empty parenthesis. So why do we give this empty parenthesis? To invoke the superclass constructor. Like we have learned in the previous module that you call the classes using the constructors. So you have basically given the constructor of the class dog to inherit. Okay, now we'll override a function. Um, so we are inheriting that we are forming inheritance. So we want the hello method, say hello method, and but here we want to print not bow, just with. Okay, so this is the child class. Now we need a main function, right? So fun main function. Are you able to follow, or did you miss anywhere? Are you able to follow? Okay, thank you. So in this main function, you create a variable of val type, a dog, it in, and you just take this. Sorry, it's Yorkshire, and you can print access the variables using. I mean, the here we're accessing. Here we want to access this method using this ID. So dog dot say hello function. So let's see what does it give. With. So it has given this. And yeah, I can see. Okay. And did you complete? Could you do this? Okay, yes. Fine. And okay, let's not limit to a dog. Shall we try it out with another animal then? What do you say? Okay, now we'll go with parameterized constructors. That is, we'll be passing the parameters to our class. I mean, the constructor. Initially, this is not this dog class. It's not parameterized. So now we'll parameterize it. Now let's take a new animal. So open, wait, open class called, let's say tiger, a national animal, and then val, origin, and a variable called origin of type string. This is the parameter passed to the constructor. So I'm not declaring taking it as open for timing. I'll just say the function as say hello, hello, and I want to tell the origin of the tiger. So since I've passed the like a parameter as a string, so I want to here tell the origin of the tiger. So tiger from origin. So how do you access the origin here? I want to print the origin, like whatever value I give to the variable origin here. Like how do I print it? I've got it out. Like how do I print it? Using what? Did you understand? Like here, a tiger from I have passed a parameter origin here. That is the variable. So whatever some value, I want to print a value here, the value of the origin. So how do I print it? Using what? Did you understand? Could you get my question? Can someone say yes or no? Did you get my question? Like what I want you to print? Okay. Look, I have typed a tiger from. I want to print the origin in my statement. I want to print. You don't need to print. You just tell me. Like I want to print the origin, the value of the origin here. And it means that how can I access the value of this variable here? Like, how can I print it here? Initially, we have done. Yes, you're right, Kirti. Using the dollar symbol. Yeah, that's what I was asking. Dollar origin. Okay. So origin is this a tiger from the origin, whatever origin we give, says gr, of course. Okay, now I want the class to be which tiger do you want? Do you want a Bengal tiger or Siberian tiger? Which origin shall you print? Which country tiger shall you print? Okay, then. Okay, Bengal. Yeah, okay, nice. So Bengal tiger, a class called some Bengal tiger, and in that you will be and we've inherited it. The child class called Bengal tiger inherits the class parent class tiger, and its parameter is Bengal. Okay. Now we'll print the main function. In that, our variable is also tiger, and then the class name, and we'll call the constructor. What is, sorry, I mean the constructor of the child class, Bengal tiger, and then the ID tiger dot, we're calling the the method of the parent class. Say hello. Now just run. Okay, a tiger from Bengal said, "Good." Okay, could you do? Is it done? Okay, nice. So if everyone's done, just ping yes in the chat. And till now we have you have learned and you've done, right? So we'll just have a refresher quiz where you can earn your badge. If everyone completes, I'll share the link of the quiz. Whoever has completed can just ping yes in the chat.
Hello everyone. Did you enjoy the session? Did you get whatever like Anjali taught you guys? Were you able to catch those things?
Yes, Akka.
That's good. So now she taught you about a lot of things, right? Can anyone come up voluntarily and state the facts like these were the things she taught and all? Can anyone say like what are the things that you just list out the things like these were the things that I got to learn today and all? Yes, that's correct that you learned about Kotlin. But in Kotlin, she taught you about various things also, no? So, like, say, what do you did you learn about how to write a function and all? Did you get the basic idea? That's good. So, overall, you enjoyed the session, right? So I hope the next session will attend for the next sessions too. Ah, that's great. You find it fun. I hope you will enjoy the next sessions too. We have many things. We actually thought of making you understand, but we don't have much time right now. Actually, it's the end of the Android month, so I don't think you will get to see many sessions. But I hope how many sessions we have planned, you will surely enjoy it.
Uh, Please stay. Don't